Good morning. It's your gourmet cave woman. I've been away for a bit, but I thought just this morning I would show you what my little morning routine is. So I'm now first going to make my bulletproof coffee. I use 2 tablespoons of bulletproof coffee, and I just use one of these very simple filters. I have added a tablespoon of grass-fed butter and 2 tablespoons of brain octane oil. My water is boiling, so let me just get the water and I'll be right back. Okay, so I usually do this about 3 times and that'll just fill up the cup. Now, the bulletproof coffee that David Asprey does, he uses a blender to blend it and then it becomes like a latte. But I found that I have trouble digesting it when I make it like that, so I just drink it plain. As you can see here, it's going to be just the butter melting with the brain octane oil, and I don't use sugar or anything like that, so I find that to be very successful and very tasty. I'll be right back. And as a treat, I'm going to make myself some buckwheat pancakes this morning. I normally do intermittent fasting, but once in a while, especially as a woman, it's a good thing not to intermittent fast all the time. So this morning, I'm making buckwheat pancakes. But what I did was I had made some buckwheat flour by soaking the seeds, draining them. I soaked them overnight. Then I drained them and let them sprout, and I let them dry. And then what I did was I used a coffee machine that you make your coffee beans, what you use your coffee beans for. And I've made my own buckwheat flour. And so it's really sprouted buckwheat flour. And buckwheat is a seed. So it's like the quinoa. And so it's gluten-free. And I'm using camel milk, which of course is my all-time favorite. This particular camel milk comes from Malaysia and it has vitamin D in it also. So I've mixed it with 8 ounces of water, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, a 1 beaten egg. Then I'm going to mix all this together. And I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's my bulletproof coffee, and I always like to serve it in a bone china mug. I don't like drinking my coffee out of a regular mug, so I use a bone china mug. And that's the same thing for when I do drink wine. I like to drink it out of a real crystal wine glass. So I'll be right back because I'm going to mix my buckwheat pancake ingredients together. And then I'm using my Salad Master frying pan. Now, sometimes I use these wonderful little gadgets that make a perfect round pancake, but I think today I'm just going to make a big pancake, and then I'm going to serve it, because I don't have any maple syrup, I'm going to serve it with this 100% peach jam, which is from Poland, and I'll be right back with you. I'm just going to mix all this up. Okay, so I've got a cup of buckwheat flour. I've made a well and added the cup of camel milk, which camel milk is a wonderful alternative for people who are allergic to dairy, and it's also a great alternative for nut milks. I personally don't use nut milks anymore, except I do enjoy the freshly made coconut milk. And then I also added 2 tablespoons of baking powder and 2 tablespoons of the grapeseed oil. So I'm going to mix this all together and pour my first pancake into my frying pan. I'll be right back. One thing that I didn't add is sugar, because actually I don't even have sugar in my house. I don't think you really need sugar. As you can see, look at the bubbles forming. Now you can